Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne and Congresswoman Nancy Mace, Congressman Pat Harrigan, former California GOP chairwoman Jessica Milan Patterson, and attorney Matt Belinsky. Thank you all for coming on. Congressman Harrigan, to you first. I mean, you heard Chad Pergam there saying 3 Democrats sided with Republicans, so there's a little bit of crack in the armor, a chink in the armor there. What do you think about this going forward?
Oh, look, I think it's very clearly going to be a Schumer shutdown with 3 defections on his side, getting up to 56 votes in the Senate. We just need 4 more people to come across and understand that Democrats are clearly sabotaging the country here. It's not just about not agreeing with Republicans. It's not just about simply bending the knee to the radical left, which is what the rest of the Democratic senators are doing. This is about saying that we're not going to vote for something that we voted for 13 times because we just want to throw a temper tantrum. That's it. It's a bunch of kids throwing their peas and carrots on the ground from their high chair.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I want to get to you as well, Congresswoman Mace, but I want to play some sound from the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He was on CNN tonight, and he said this, and I found it fascinating. Watch.
I hope it's very short because real Americans are going to suffer. It's going to be a hardship for a lot of people. And Chuck Schumer holds all the cards because all he has to do is do what he's done, by the way, 13 times during the previous 4 years of the Biden administration. 13 times we avoided a shutdown. We were in the minority party many of those times. We voted and did the responsible right thing to keep the government open. We're asking Chuck Schumer to do the same.
Yeah, but the last time Chuck Schumer played ball, with the continuing resolution, not too far back, he got a lot of heat from the far left of his party.
Well, right. I mean, he's taking advice from a former bartender from the Bronx because Chuck Schumer is terrified of being primaried by none other than AOC. And think about this. The Democrat Party would rather use taxpayer money to fund free health care for illegal aliens than actually pay our troops. And the people who are going to suffer the worst are the men and women in uniform who enlisted, who are junior soldiers in our military, who may not get a paycheck in the middle of October and who will not be able to put food on the table for their kids. Those men and women who are fighting for our freedoms, defending our country here and abroad are going to suffer the most. And it's unconscionable that the Democrats are doing this tonight. This is the Schumer shutdown. I also think it's a show of what lack of leadership is in the Democrat Party. Republicans were united behind one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history, Donald Trump. We are putting America first, and the Democrats have no leader. And it really shows tonight.
Yeah, and really, there's been kind of this problem, Congresswoman Van Duyne, because, the Democrats have had a tough time articulating why exactly they want the government to shut down.
No, exactly right. They have been voting for this for years. They voted for it under a Biden presidency, but all of a sudden Trump is president and they don't want to vote for it. What they would prefer to do is add an additional $1.5 trillion spend on a 4-week spending bill. That's what they want to do. That includes reinstatement of free health benefits for illegals, $500 million or $500 million to be given to liberal media outlets and literally billions to other countries for their climate projects. This is what they're hanging their hat on. Americans see it. The president does not want to shut down the government. Republicans don't want to shut down the government. But Schumer and his Democrats, do-nothing Democrats in the Senate, that's exactly what they voted on tonight. And that's exactly what's going to happen because they don't want to work at all for the American people.
But, Jessica, we talked about this. Democrats don't want to shut down the government. The New York Times Siena poll, 67% of Democrats say we do not want to shut down the government. And, of course, Chuck Schumer says, oh, that poll is biased. The New York Times poll is biased.
Yes, and we're seeing this. Americans don't want it. Democrats don't want it. But they are continuing to bend at the knee of the radical wing of their party. And he is afraid of AOC, and he is afraid of a primary. He's seen what is happening in New York City, where a radical person is leading and is going to likely be the mayor of their city. So they know exactly what the consequences are. Chuck Schumer went through this problem the last time he voted for it and got a ton of stuff from his radical side of his party. And that is what he is afraid of. That is what he is fearing.
It's dangerous, though, Matt. This is a whole thing for Democrats who don't have a policy and don't really have a lot of leaders. This is danger territory.
No doubt. And it's interesting, the persuasion dynamics, because usually the shoe's on the other foot. and that it can be pinned. The Republicans are the stopgap. They're the brakes because, oh, we don't want to increase spending. We want to put some bar, some ceiling on what the government can accomplish. But here, the Republicans are the ones who want to keep the government open. They want to keep whatever is being spent to continue to be spent. The Democrats are making a major miscalculation that they think they can just pin, reduction in Medicare, them trying to take away people's health care on this and blame and kind of tarnish what the Republicans are doing right now with that brush right there. But listen, the Republicans have a very easy job right here. As you saw, Mike Johnson, he was very comfortable saying, listen, we're the ones who want to keep the government open. And I think the Democrats aren't used to that dynamic here, and I think they're miscalculating how people are going to react.
What's interesting to me is Congressman Pat Harrigan is that, you have the minority leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, offering a deal to Republicans. Here's what he's offering. He wants you to come on board. He's going to give you this one chance. Watch.
We're urging reasonable Republicans to come to the table. I'll be at the Capitol all night. Let's have a conversation about finding a common sense path forward to meet the needs of all Americans, as opposed to continuing to devastate everyday Americans.
If those Republicans, Congressman Harrigan, would just come to the table and give us a little bit of love, we'd be out of this mess.
Yeah, he also, by saying all Americans, means all Americans with an asterisk, because as we just talked about, a huge part of this bill, hundreds of billions of dollars, would be giving medical benefits to illegal aliens, hundreds of billions of dollars. I just don't understand how we continue to have a Democratic Party that systematically prioritizes non-citizens over American citizens. This is not a deal that Republicans are going to come to the table on. This is an additional $1.5 trillion worth of spend. It's exactly the opposite of why President Trump was elected, why all of us were elected. They need to come to the table on a clean CR. That's the deal, and that's the only thing that gets this done moving forward.
I thought it was interesting when Chuck Schumer was on the Senate floor and we were talking about that Siena poll, Congresswoman Mace, and you had this big laughter when Chuck Schumer says, oh, that's a biased poll. You had all this laughter in the chamber, and Chuck Schumer was like, no, really, it's really a biased poll. Everybody sees right through this.
Right. And it's just a fake. It's just fake. And we're seeing the acting. I think that Chuck Schumer and a lot of Democrats who are on the Hill tonight deserve an Oscar for their performance. This is political performance art. And at the end of the day, this boils down to putting illegal aliens first, American citizens last. They are trying to buy votes. They have imported millions and millions of illegal aliens under Joe Biden, and they're trying to buy them off by giving them free health care and free goodies, free hotel rooms, you name it. And those days are over, because there was a mandate on November 5th that Donald Trump will be the leader of the free world, the president of the United States, the man sitting in the White House tonight, Trace, looking out for everybody across the country, East Coast to West Coast, hardworking Americans. Donald Trump is putting you first.
Yeah. Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, I don't know. What do you think? Is there a temperature that you can gauge on the other side? We talked about 3 Democrats from the Senate kind of going over and voting with Republicans. One, of course, is an independent that caucuses with the Democrats. What do you think about going forward? Is there a lot of resistance to signing on this, or you think that they are starting to weaken as maybe the days go by?
Well, I think, again, they have been on record saying for years how bad it is for Americans, for families, for veterans, for our military. They are on record saying how bad a shutdown is, and they're going to support it. And yet at the same time, you look at them, and I really hope that President Trump has a plan moving forward to be able to, hand out these pink slips that he's talking about. And let's get the government right-sized. I would love it if we took this opportunity to go back to pre-COVID levels of spend. If we're able to do that, I guarantee you are going to see the Democrats running back onto the floor to be able to vote for a clean CR. But, we've got a couple of days. Let's see what this president can do. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. And I think you got the right man on the job.
I think she's right, Jessica, about the whole thing. If they start firing people, if this gives them the latitude to start firing people, the Democrats are going to kind of run back in. Because the people are going to say, wait, Trump's firing people. We need to get back in there and get the government running again, right?
Yeah, they don't want to see good people lose jobs. But you also have to look at from the political side of it, right? We've got states that Donald Trump won, right? That's Nevada and Pennsylvania. Those are two senators that have come over. That's what I would be looking at right now. Look at those states with senators that have Republican governors or that President Trump won. Those are people that know the people in their state, they don't always go one side or the other. And so that's where I would go look for my votes.
Yeah. Matt?
I would agree. You got to look at the purple states in particular. Every state is going to suffer some practical impact from this shutdown, right? And for better or for worse, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and some of the louder constituents that are going to be affected by this, they're going to have more impact in the states that can kind of toggle either way, where people have to worry about, elected officials have to worry about their votes, as opposed to a California where you can go through as much incompetence as possible, never have to worry about it.
Meantime, we have 1 minute left in the broadcast. I want to get kind of a take. How many days do you think we're looking at here? Congressman Harrigan, first to you.
I think it could be longer than we've had in the recent past. I'm preparing my team for a long haul here.
Congresswoman Mace.
I hope it's no more than a week. We're back in session next week. We'll be in D.C., so hopefully no more than 7 days. We'll see.
Congresswoman Van Dyne.
5 to 7 days.
Really? 5 to 7 days? Yeah. I mean, shorter than the last one we had was 35 days is the longest one, Jessica.
I think we're going to be looking at 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow. 3 to 4 weeks. Matt Belinsky.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be longer because, once again, you saw how comfortable Speaker Johnson was. He knows that he thinks he can mine political gold out of this, and the Democrats are hamstrung internally by the radicals on their side. I don't see how they break through that in a short amount of time.
Might be concessions. Well, thank you for watching America's Late News, a special edition, Fox News at Night. I'm Trace Gallagher in Los Angeles. We'll see you right back here again.